Good evening, and bienvenue, my fond fair rouge raiders. This is your humble narrator, Diomedes Rouge, here to bring you part 3 of What If Izuku Got a New Game Plus. Where we last left off, Izuku, fully severed himself from Aldera. He got a new laptop to increase his study potential from Nezu. All Might gave him so much. Gave his mother so much access to his money. Yes. A lot of things have happened. And now we're going to have a brief time skip from a couple of days to 3 months. We'll start with the most obvious of things. Over the entire city, things have begun to erupt with this new, the best thing you could call him, cyber hacker, cyber vigilante. This strange being named Deku, who has been appearing in a lot of people's emails and, along the underground web. For pro heroes, he charges a fee. And to whoever pays this fee, he will dissect their quirk, current equipment, show them their weaknesses, and give them improvements. But that's just the basic fee, the dissection of the weaknesses and current weaknesses of their equipment. If they want to pay more, he'll give them possible better moves, better ways to utilize their quirks, better ways for them to strengthen themselves, and ideas for gear to incorporate into their super suits. However, he's made a hard line of not dealing with anyone from the UA. As when asked about this online by a couple of, possible heroes from there, he says, "You have Nezu. I can't offer you any more advice than he can. He's smarter than me." But that's just for the heroes. Civilians have gotten different ideas from Izuku. Why? The Yaoyorozu company is making bigger moves because of this. They've been working on a new gym that incorporates, quirks into their training program. Getting licenses and things of that nature to do so was quite the pain, but it's a public gym. Open to anyone and everyone. Constructed out of, for charitable reasons. A donation to the city that will be managed by them. Yet, they've hired a different type of company to build this gym. It will take time and resources to do, but Instead of hiring one of the higher ranked construction companies, they've somehow bothered with a smaller construction company, the Uraraka Company, which was never on the map before this particular moment. When asked about why, they simply responded, well, it'd be best for someone of a impoverished community to help out with a project for the impoverished community. Not to mention that they seem to be fine people that have hit a hard time after the incident in the Shibara district about 10 years ago. Correction, 20 years ago. Since then, their company went down the drain. We would like to help elevate them back into proper status. And outside of that, they do damn good work. A quote from Mr. Yayarozu. In addition to that, several kids, or rather I should say young adults, with mutant quirks, or even as they would call themselves, villainous quirks, have been getting random emails from this Deku. A young man with purple hair, a young girl with frog-like features, a man with multiple arms, a kid with a very hard outlook on life, and a gentle voice. All getting these emails telling them that they can do it. Don't give up. Don't quit on your dreams. I believe that you all have what it takes to be a hero. Several of them are confused, perplexed by these messages. Some think that it's a new form of bullying, while others genuinely smile at this. They genuinely smile at what this person seems to be trying to do. But it seems as if this Deku, whoever this person may be, has their fingers in a lot of pots. So certainly they have to be some very old person, a retired hero maybe. The way they talk and interact with the underground heroes is definitely a giveaway to someone with plenty of experience, someone with a lot of renown, and possibly someone from an age past who has no more use of his knowledge and is trying to pass these things down to the younger generation. At least that's what most of them think. As we cut to Izuku Midoriya, who's currently up at 5 o'clock in the morning, doing a lot of push-ups, trying to focus. Oh, okay. 3 more reps, followed by lunges, followed by some sit-ups, and I'll be ready to start the day of training. I am so grateful I was able to remember everyone's email address. Oh. I should probably see if I can contact Todoroki later. No, focus. As, yes, Izuku continues to, motor about into his new life. He will generally sleep between 12 a.m. to 4 a.m., wake up, have a light run around the house, or I should say around his block, come back inside, do 40 push-ups, 40 sit-ups, 40 lunges, take a nice shower to get the grime and sweat off and cool him down. By that point, his mother will be up, make him some breakfast, in which case he will proceed to go down to the beach and clean up more of it. And to be frank, he's bulked up a fair bit over the last 3 months, to a point where it's surprised All Might. Does he actually have a dormant quirk? All Might thinks. We'll have to go to Recovery Girl later to get it checked out. But for right now, we'll keep training. Shouldn't bother him too much. In fact, it seems to be giving him a boon. As most definitely, in the 3 months of time, 25% of the beach has been cleaned up, and Izuku will spend a good solid 8 hours to 10 hours out here cleaning the beach. Then he'll go home and generally spend another 3 to 6 hours on the computer doing the appropriate work that Nezu sends over, answering the questions that Nezu gives him, while at the same time trying to play down his intelligence, at least somewhat. After all, the new cyber criminal / vigilante / hero? Deku, a persona he adopted to try and, well, gain more knowledge as well as influence things, has done his job well. But if people find out how smart he truly is, that could be a problem in and of itself. So he'll play dumb for now, at least. Or at least not as intelligent. Pardon me one moment. As Izuku continues on through his day of working out, moving and grooving along, All Might can't help but smile upon his successor, knowing that he has truly chosen the most appropriately. However, something keeps gnawing away at the back of his mind. Why do his eyes seem so lifeless? When he first saw the boy, his eyes shone, had a shine to them like an emerald being hit with a focus of laser. But now they're dull, like a swamp, like they've been submerged. He doesn't know what's going on with Izuku, and he feels guilty. For he believes that he is the cause of this, that he was the one that take away the boy's shine, that he was the one that crushed the boy's dreams, and that upset him so that it shattered his poor mind, having no idea that it's far, far, far worse than that. But that's not his fault for not knowing. Now, as we continue, All Might begins to hatch a plan. He makes contacts with an old friend of his, sees about setting up something and a type of trip, calling in a few personal favors. Because as the way he sees it, Izuku will be deserving of a break. And considering how fast he's going, he's gonna wind up having a lot of free time on his hands. And so, we progress. Another month. Izuku has bulked up even further. Going, well, into the higher 100-pound category. He's now sitting at a solid 180 pounds of mostly muscle. And while that may not sound like a lot, considering the tiny twig he was, it's a lot. Especially considering he's got virtually no fat on him. He continues through his days, sleeping 4 hours, showering, relaxing. Not to mention he had to figure out how to properly shave. Turns out having an 18-year-old body is a lot different than his formerly 16-year-old self. Things start kicking into high gear, especially in the hair growth and hormones department. But he's managing it, at least for now. Taking care of his needs while at the same moment in time making sure that his bare necessities are met to continue his training. Deku continues to be relevant, making quite the everlasting impression upon the underground hero society, as well as some limelight heroes. Kamui Woods getting new recommendations for trees to implement into his repertoire, seeing if he can duplicate their density or increase the overall shape and creativity of his, well, quirk. Miss Joke getting new information about some lightweight Kevlar that, well, could be implemented into her hero outfit relatively easily with minimal effort to adjust for any lacking defenses. Hell, he even sends a note to Nezu. And I don't mean an email, I mean a note. A letter. Signed, sealed, dated, and has a very small chess piece. What does that note say? Pawn to e4. And with this, Nezu is intrigued. As he sips his tea and begins to cackle maniacally behind his desk. Meanwhile, almost every instructor inside of UA feels a cold chill run up their spines. Outside of Recovery Girl, who feels the need to start going after and beating a rat. But I digress. Izuku proceeds to keep moving forward with his training. And All Might can see that he is indeed pushing himself beyond his normal limits. Hell, beyond normal people's limits, even beyond superhuman limits. As he approaches him, "Young Midoriya, tell me, how long do you plan on overworking yourself? My American dream plan had everything set up properly for you. Yet you keep on trying to, well, overdo things." "I have to overdo things, All Might. I have to. Everyone else has a head start on me. I'm 18 years behind everybody. 18 years is too long to try and cover without pushing myself to the breaking point. I have to keep pushing harder. I have to keep climbing harder. Otherwise, I might as well quit. And I can't quit. Not after everything you've given me. Not after everything you've trusted with me. Not after everything I've sacrificed. And will sacrifice." With that, All Might is moved. He says, "All right. But just so you know, we are going to have you take a break at some point, and it will not be negotiable. You understand?" "Sure." As, yet again, we continue. Month number 5 goes down, and the beach is 75% clear. Izuku has gone from this skinny, scrawny-looking guy to being solidly built and weighing in at over 280 pounds of pure muscle. This guy is no longer the shrimp everyone saw him as. And there are still quite a few, still a few months left to go. As, to be quite honest with you, All Might is shocked. "Izuku? Yeah, All Might? Are you taking steroids?" "What? Are you taking steroids?" "No! What would you think?" Oh, I could see why you would think. Yeah. Listen, I can understand you wanting to get better, and there has been a lot of pressure on you to do this, but steroids isn't the way, young Midoriya. We can't have you. No, All Might, I promise you, I'm not on steroids. I can't really explain this myself. Young Midoriya, there's no need to lie. Believe me, I understand. Come on, I'm not lying. You could have me tested. We could go get tested, right? Have me tested. Let's go. Let's go right now. We can be tested before the day's out. Right? Very well, young man. As I'd hate to have to give up on the training for the day, but if it means proving to you that I'm not using drugs, then yeah. I'm sorry, young Midoriya. I can't explain this type of growth. This is alarming. So, yes, let me make a phone call and we can get things sorted out. As All Might indeed does make a phone call. He calls Recovery Girl and says, yeah, we're gonna bring Izuku in. He's gonna, uh, basically, he's my successor. Gonna bring him in. I'm afraid he might be using steroids because of the pressure I might have put him under. He thinks he needs to get as big as possible, things like that. I don't know how to handle it, and I'm hoping it comes back negative. And if so, we might need a blood work done to see if it's a dormant quirk that neither of us knew about. But again, going to be coming down there. As yes, most definitely, they do head down to UA within the hour. As Nezu is somewhat excited to see Izuku walk in on the cameras, and then he's also perplexed about why he looks like that. He's like, this is not the same kid I was shown a picture of about 7 months ago. 6 months ago. Time flies. As All Might and Izuku walk down to the nurse's office, Izuku's catching a few different eyes. Like, the big three spot him, because, well, they're still there. Like, school is still technically going on. It's a university. You're in and you're out. Like there's still classes and everything else going on. They're just wondering who is bringing, like, why is this kid getting brought up here? And who is this other guy that's giving him clearance? Like, we got one giant buff dude and a skeleton figure. And normally it's in the reverse order, but still. As they get to Recovery Girl's office, Izuku just kind of looks around. He's happy to be back in here again as he sees Recovery Girl come up, and he smiles real bright and wide, all happy and giddy to see her again. Even though this is their technical first meet, but he's still happy to see her. He's like, you're a Recovery Girl, huh? Yes. Can I have your autograph? As Izuku again pops a notebook out of nowhere, and Recovery Girl most definitely signs it, and then proceeds to tell him about what's going to happen. A physical is going to be done, a blood work, etc., etc. How she then glares at All Might and says that they're going to need to discuss things, where she proceeds to bring him into the next room and start berating him for possibly putting that much stress on a child to where he might actually do steroids. But then they get to the actual test. First is the blood test, which, while it's running, and after they draw the blood, they get it run and are testing it in-house, which is going to take a few hours considering the advances in medical science. Able to run a simple drug test like that in virtually no time. Get the best of the best type of, well, drug tests to where, yeah, they're going to make sure that it'll let them know what type of vitamins you've been having in the morning. Meanwhile, Recovery Girl does a, physical exam. Testing him, seeing how he reacts, things of that nature. And what astounds her, outside of the outrageous reaction time this kid possesses, is, some of the scarring this kid has on his torso, his legs, His arms seem mostly free of any scarring, but still, it's quite worrying. As she asks what happened, and, well, he tells her the truth. Life was rough growing up quirkless, and he does not iterate further than that. As we cut from there, she lets Izuku be alone for a little bit to get redressed and sorted out. As she talks with All Might. It seems like you've got a good one here. And from what the lab results say, he's clean. You sure? Yes, All Might. Or are you doubting me, Toshi? No, I'm glad. I truly am glad. I thought I pushed him over the edge. Oh, thank you. You really do owe him a bigger apology for having him go through all this. Even thinking that he would try those. You don't understand. Just a barely half a year ago, this kid was tiny. I expected him maybe to get a 6-pack, maybe an 8-pack, bigger biceps, maybe gain about 100 pounds or so. If that, but he's almost tripled in his previous weight. He's grown a full 5 inches in height. Could it be a quirk? No, the results came back from the blood work. He is quirkless. Then how do you explain this? Genetics? I mean, you heard what he said. Or rather, you probably didn't. Growing up quirkless is hard. More than likely, no one ever believed in him to be able to actually have him try to do any of this sort of working out. Maybe that's what he needed, was someone to be in his corner to actually push him into the right direction. Maybe he just needs someone to get him started and show him the way of work, show him the way of getting stronger. And it looks like he's taken to it like a fish to water. He may not have a quirk, but he's definitely superhuman. So you picked a good successor there. I'm glad. Izuku gets dressed. He's coming to the realization, I'm gonna need some bigger clothes. These things are actually clinging to me way too tight. It's like, hey. Not to mention, I am not used to being this tall. Man, this is what Shoji felt like. Must have felt like damn. It's nice, but still. So much change in such a little time. And the beach is almost cleared. What am I going to do with the last few months? The train, more than likely. I mean, get one for all, then likely train. With the training from there, yeah, things can get a lot better. Okay. As he knuckles down and pushes forward. They go back to the beach and proceed, well, to continue with the training. Izuku doubles down hardcore, beginning to try and move everything as fast as possible. Running with safes to just straight up trying to lift up that old truck. And, well, he doesn't pick it up. He does pick up one end and try and drag it a fair bit. And it goes. It certainly does move. Like, people tend to forget, even without powers, even without powers, old Izuku from Canon was able to pick up All Might and walk with him. Well, remember, that All Might weighed like 500 pounds. This kid is like, this guy is like 4 times that size of Izuku, so yeah, him moving a truck, not a big deal. Not a big deal whatsoever. Yes, most definitely. He proceeds to move and groove, and by the beginning of the 7th month, everything's cleaned up. The beach is cleared. Deku has, well, made more online appearances and gathered a lot more cash from heroes. And even a certain bi-colored hair, well, man with bi-colored hair, has been getting a notification from this Deku telling him that your power is your power. Don't let your own internal hatred cloud what is properly yours. And yeah, Izuku is ecstatic. He's got 3 months to, well, basically fuck around. And what I mean by that is he's going to be using those to train his damn ass off with One for All. We all know what he's planning on doing. But yeah, he's basically 3 months ahead of schedule considering what he was previously, and he is beyond ecstatic. And All Might, well, he can't really believe it, but he can believe it. He's seen the kid's dedication, his hard work. He's like, I'm so proud of you, young Midoriya. Yeah, eat this. And without even a hesitation, any type of look of confusion or anything, he just takes the hair he was given and downs it. And All Might's going like, the fuck? Like, why? How? What? You just ate the hair. You told me to. If I told you to jump off a bridge, would you do it? I was expecting you to, be grossed out. To yell, to shout, something. How? What? Are you okay? No, we both established that I'm not exactly okay. Okay, that's accurate. But still, you never cease to amaze me, young Midoriya. You never cease to amaze me. So, as you would probably like to know, All for One is transferable via DNA. Huh? All for One, it transfers from user to user via DNA, right? Like you have to willingly hand over either blood, saliva, or hair follicle, in this case, to someone else, right? How did you... It was kind of simple to guess, boss. Was it really that simple to guess? I mean, considering how I know you and everything else going on, doesn't seem like it'd be transferred via a handshake. That would just be, well, too dangerous. Get one happy moment and next thing you know, transfer all your power away. Not to mention, quirks are, well, DNA based. They bond with your genetic code, meaning you would have to have something to, well, have some way of it entering your genetic code. In other words, it would have to either be some sort of tool or blood transference, but considering that you plucked out the hair, I figured, oh, it could just be ingested. You truly are astounding. Yes. So, what am I doing today? Nothing. Today is your day to relax. Huh? Today is your day to relax. Enjoy yourself. Be a young man. Go home, sleep, drink something, play video games. Just relax. Huh. Okay. Alright. I guess I'll just continue on the studies back at home. Ugh. Crazy kid. Meanwhile, later that night. What the fuck? As the vestiges look back and forth at one another, then back and forth at Izuku, who is awake in the vestige realm, not even halfway covered in the greenish black smoke. What the fuck did I just say? Daigoto Banjo asks. Yeah, you likely saw my memories. Your memories. What kind of game are you playing? You're telling me that heaven and hell exist, that purgatory exists, that dimensions exist, and that apparently we aren't us, but memories of us with our own as well, the vestige of Daigoro Banjo begins scratching his head as Nana just smiles and then frowns before hugging Izuku, apologizing for everything. As yeah, it's a very hard pill to swallow, that everything that they've just seen, like everyone is a mixture of terrified, angry, relieved, pissed off. There's just a whole cascade of emotions running through One for All that was never expected. Yeah, it's a truly remarkable thing. As Izuku, he's just kind of smiling and just tearing up, just happy to see everyone again. Because despite all the arguments, despite all the asinine remarks, despite all the headaches, he viewed these guys as like an extended family. And he loves them. And it was very painful not having them around. At this point, Izuku asks, so, I'm going to take a wild guess and say that I'm not going to have nearly the amount of power I had back there right off the bat, right? You've just barely gotten One for All. You're not accessing that type of power yet. You still have to breach the singularity. It's a miracle we can talk like this at the moment, to be frank. It's like, yeah, I figured as much. What can I say? First, I kind of wanted to see y'all again. Kid. Just don't go pushing yourself into this state whenever you get the chance. I don't know how we're communicating. I don't know whether it's your familiarity with One for All that's allowing this premature breach, or if it's something to do with that Dio Rouge bastard. I swear that guy, weird. Guy sounded American. You know how fucky they can be. Oh no. Considering everything he was wearing, I think he was compensating for something. Ow, why do I have a headache all of a sudden? I didn't think we could get headaches. I know, right? It's weird. Anyways. Just this is all very strange. Believe me, I know the feeling. I've been holding it in for a while. It's good to know that I can actually have people I could talk to about this. Even if they are inside my head. You know, if anyone else would have said that, even back in my day, we probably would have put them in a hospital. Yeah. What's going on? I feel it's getting harder to look at my mom every day. Because I know she's not my mom. It's his mom. She looks like her, she talks like her, she acts like her. But I know it's not her. And I can't say anything. Because it wouldn't make sense. I talk with All Might, with Toshi. And it hurts. Because I know what he did to this Izuku, but I also know what he did for me. It's like seeing an old friend, a father figure I never had, but at the same moment in time, it hurts. I don't know how I'm going to react when I see my old friends. I feel like I want to hug them. But I know if I do that, I'm just going to cause confusion and panic. It's okay. We're here for you, Ninth. To be fair, at least this isn't nearly as bad as I thought what was going on. What did you think, Third? Simple. Honestly speaking, I thought you got killed off and replaced. Huh? Well, you acted different, your eyes shined less, you looked like you've been through a fight, or heck, now looking back, a war. Yeah, no, I thought you got replaced. Like Invasion of the Body Snatchers style. Really? Yeah. And then you start showing off this power of yours to bulk up. Yeah, motherfucker really amped up your body work. You really should have told him to dial that shit back. I didn't realize it would be that big of a deal. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, it probably will give you a lot to work with One for All. We don't know what your base percentage would be. And considering your actual knowledge of it, well, you're not going to do anything stupid like you did in your own world, right? Meaning breaking your limbs on a whim. No. I know, I remember the feeling of full cowling. I could do that. Good. All right, let me speak to him. What do you say we try getting you access back to the old quirks in the same way you had them? Keep them in your mindset, so to speak. Not to mention, show us what you can do. Once you hit to about 20-25% as a standard, I'll see about try and break the barrier and try pulling out Black Whip. If not, we can see about bumping it up to 30%. as your average. All right? Access the quirks in the same order. Keep it less stressful. Right. Okay, that makes sense. Anything else? Yeah. I think we can keep that similar type of link we had with you back in, your world, back in time. I don't know how to phrase this. I think we can have a clear and established link. So, we should be able to communicate with you. Remember, you're not on your own, even if you feel like it. That actually means a lot. By the way, what have you been doing with all that money you've been making as Deku? Investing it in safe houses across the cities. Safe houses? Well, I figure eventually I'm going to have to turn into the vigilante again. Not to mention, we still have to get Eri. Not chasing after her or Chisaki has been killing me, but I can't do much without a quirk due to all of his forces. And trying to contact Night Eye has been a failure. That guy has better security systems than I can imagine. And while I did study with May on how to hack things a little bit, she really was focused more about creating things and less about hacking. So, yeah. Right. So what you're telling me, more than likely I'm going to have to run solo. All right. You remember the layout? Like a fish remembers how to swim. Good. We'll look through your memory, see if we can find a good way to plan that route. You remember the secret tunnel? Yep. Good. Of course you remember it, otherwise we wouldn't be able to talk to you about it. We'll see about that and try and get you some free time and maybe get yourself some vigilante gear. Who knows? You might be pulling out one of them safe houses sooner than you thought. Either that or killing the bastard. You know we're not allowed to do that, third. Second, you know we're not allowed to do that. Oh, come on. The guy deserves it. Right. I'm gonna wake up now, guys. Stay safe. And God bless you, you crazy fucker. As with that, Izuku leaves the vestige state. And with that, my friends, I'll be calling it the end of this episode. Have a blessed evening. God bless.